That should fix my part. Check your audio settings because mine reset, Van. So check your mic in the audio settings. No, I cannot hear you at all. Okay, can you guys hear me at home now? For whatever reason, StreamYard reset my settings. So it was using the mic that is normally attached to this, but I don't have that attached. I usually use this one. They can hear me, Van. I'm just not going to be able to hear your laugh all night. I can hear it. It's a terrible impression of Van. Okay. If you don't know what Van sounds like when he laughs, just think of Seth Rogen and you'll have like an idea of what Van sounds like. Yeah, Van, did you check your audio settings? Okay. And if Van didn't see, he can hear us now. We were taking a little stock of if you forgot your password or not, and that's what took you so long to sign in. I know. What a start, Brayden. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, we have a Saber giveaway tonight, guys. So exciting. We're like at 858 subs, I think, which is like mind-blowing and awesome. We were getting so close to 1,000. I am so freaking excited about that. I know we had an event today. Kyber Cave was over at the Funked Out Collectibles. Van's I think he's trying to fix something. Kyber Cave is at the Funked Out Collectible shop in the Vacaville outlets at the grand opening. We had a table there selling sabers, and I actually went by and visited Van for a bit and said hello. And I gotta tell you, I told myself that I would never buy a Funko Pop for myself. And that's Van popping in, trying to come on. Let's pop him in and see. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Hello.
Jedi Council of America, hello.
Yay, hey, Mike Berger. What is up, Mr. Mike Berger in the house?
Graveyard said you're going to mime the entire show.
Holy goodness, look at all these comments.
I know, it's very exciting. We have 863 subscribers.
I know. I was at work today, man. I was putting in work.
He was working it. He was handing out our business cards, guys. Our business cards came, and I finally got to see them today, and they look so freaking cool. I got one, actually. They're right here.
What's up? I'm seeing some new names. I'm loving it. And, of course, I always love seeing names like Say Wong. What's up, Brayden? Jessica.
Okay, here is the store card.
Yes.
And then on the back is the YouTube stuff. Woo-hoo. And so I have a bunch of those that I can hand out to people and be like, hey, look, come watch.
Greetings from Christmas in the park. Say Wong is always out somewhere, man. Say Wong
He's and always Kevin, doing stuff. I'm jelly. I told everybody about the event, and we have a giveaway tonight. Go ahead and show that saber one more time, Dan, that we're going to give away at the end.
We are, since it is our holiday show, really quick reminder, I want to let people know we will not be on air next week. As well as the week after. This show falls right on Christmas and then right on New Year's. So we'll be taking 2 weeks off, but don't worry, we will be back.
Not do something on Sunday night.
Wait, I mean, hopefully you'll be with your family celebrating. Uh-oh.
I will be with my family. I'm planning to make a nice dinner for my family.
Aww.
So,
okay.
All right, so awesome. Look at this beautiful saber.
I decided to give one of the nicer chromed out sabers. This is the Betrayal. We want to thank TXQ for being a sponsor of Kyber Cave and Saber Rattle. This is a TXQ saber. We are an exclusive distributor of TXQ. Mm-hmm. And what I love about these sabers, they all come with 12 color fonts if you get the RGB. 12 different colors, or as I like to say, red plus 11. It comes with 10 different characters like Luke, Ahsoka, Vader, Flash on Crash, rechargeable. They have excellent deep pockets here on your emitter, which gives you good...
They give deep pockets on sabers, men's pants. Why not women's? Come on. Women's pants. And don't forget that if you've won a saber in the last 3 months, you are not eligible. And if you cannot come to pick it up at the shop, you will have to pay for shipping.
That is right. So everybody who has left a comment so far, you are automatically entered into the drawing. All you had to do was just leave a little comment. Braden says, it's my first time here. I'm excited. What's up, Braden?
Yes.
Thank you.
I know Van came in and was like popping in and out, and he's trying to catch up on the comments now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just bloop, 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 bloop.
You're like,
see, so, everybody always thinks
Jessica,
you do all.
Even yours. Jessica here commented on our stream over an hour before we started. Even that one counted towards being collected for a saber. So
wow,
which is pretty cool. Yes, now Van will see all the comments saying technical difficulties, how we're not surprised. And
Van, did you forget your password?
Yeah, probably not.
No, I was out. I was out in Vacaville, and then I had to get to the shop, unload everything, and then it was just so cold, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to go home in the nice, warm, heated house.
It was very cold. It was let's see, 40-something, 43 when I left my mom's to come home. It's pretty chilly here. It's brisk.
Mark, thank you
and the worst actually isn't just cold. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, Mark, thank you for being a first time viewer.
Yes, thank you for coming in. Dense fog in our area. We have a lot of dense fog. So it's like my mom's house, and then there's like a neighborhood, and then behind them are hills, and you can't even see the hills because the fog is so dense. But guess what? It's time for, sir.
Woo! Nerdy news!
All right, I left my notepad upstairs, so I'm going to try to do what I read and everything from memory. First off, there's a Star Wars makeup line. Okay,
Star Wars makeup line.
Yeah, so Pat McGrath is a makeup production person. My brain is not remembering a name for that. And they teamed with Star Wars. Like, this is actually from the Star Wars website. And you can find these palettes, and I included the article in the description below where you can find the website. Wow. They are a bit on the pricier side. Like there's one color palette for $128.
Oh my goodness!
And the one that you're currently looking at, I believe, is quite a bit less than that. But it just depends on, like, they have ones that are by characters. So like you'll have a character, one like C-3PO will have golds and rose, and you know, like how he has the one arm that's a different color. He'll have all the different colors of C-3PO as eyeshadow colors.
Oh wow!
So it's like it's really interesting and cool. And I thought that was really, and I thought, hey, if any guys are looking for like a nerdy girl present, and your girl likes makeup,
and you know, we have God, I wish I could do. We have a local artist here in Fairfield. She creates makeup. She has her own makeup line. But she used to come into Kyber Cave when we were in downtown Fairfield all the time with her daughter. But what's cool about hers, you know what, I'll have to get the name of her company, but she does specific palettes for characters. So if you were looking to do a particular character like Ahsoka, it would be all the colors that you need for specifically Ahsoka or somebody else.
Yeah, Graveyard says he has a bunch of snow to ship to us. So I'm fairly certain that it would melt by the time it got here. But it's all right. Bat Mike, thank you so much for the congrats. Very, very much appreciated. Appreciated.
It's so funny. I'm just now getting the comments where people are seeing the sabers. Jessica, I'm happy you like it.
They are beautiful.
Okay.
Does the Queen Amidala one have a whole lot of white and a bit of red? Oh, I'm not sure. You'd have to check, but that would make sense. Hello, Devin Ritchie. And then
Devin.
We had an earlier question about whether the dark saber came in.
The dark saber came in and then went boom, just like that. Oh, we did order another one, so hopefully I'll have one in a few more days. But if anybody is looking for,
my Stitch Grogu pen. You can't see
Yoda Stitch.
Hello, Rick.
Hello, Rick. Hello, Devin.
All right, next on the news. All that DC news. All right, so everyone heard the big crash of DC news this week, right?
And if you didn't, check out our Friday night show. We talked a lot about
Friday
DC.
night show at the end after dark. That's 8 p.m. Pacific. They talked about it at the end of the show. So we learned that Henry Cavill is no longer going to be Superman, which then blew up with, he's going to go back to The Witcher. And then, nope, he's not. But he left The Witcher to be Superman. But we were like, no, but he left The Witcher because the source material wasn't being portrayed in the show. And so he was very strict on it. And so he left. And now Liam Hemsworth. And so he's not going back to The Witcher, and he's no longer Superman. Now, I know there are rumors I did not, Rich. There are rumors that James Gunn's going to have him play a different part in Mind. And it seems...
I heard he wanted to go with the younger Superman, which was the reason...
Yeah, like earlier. Not necessarily origin story. Hi, Scott. Yay, Rich, I'm glad you're here.
Rich over there says, did you see the bit about 40K? Warhammer, yes.
Oh, the Warhammer. Oh, gosh, yes. He is now going to be in Warhammer, correct? They're doing a Warhammer project, and he is involved. And I know he loves Warhammer. He'll actually have those figurines, and he hand paints them.
All right.
I heard there was Cavill's a big, huge nerd.
Yeah, there was a story about how he almost missed, like, I don't know if it was Superman audition or some big audition because he was gaming.
Yes. Sorry. Hi, Thanos.
We gotta get him on the show since he's such a nerd.
Gosh, that would be amazing. That's a dream. People like, hello, Henry. That would be a guest. Okay, I don't do this. But that would be a guess where I would like be practicing how I say hello, like you see people practicing in the mirror in movies and such. I would be like, "Hello." So bad. Anyway, so it seems to be also, we know about Wonder Woman 3 being canceled necessarily, but that Patty Jenkins had like a trilogy in mind,
right? And
her third to the trilogy wasn't in line with what James and Peter are going for with the DC.
Right.
So it's not necessarily that it's scrapped, but it's just not going to be what originally was supposed to be.
Right.
But it's kind of unclear at the moment on, which actors are playing what characters now and everything. Like, now we hear that
Jason Momoa
is going to be Lobo. Which I hear he would be a perfect actor for that character and stuff. So like, it's almost like, so I heard Coy Jandreau said a really good theory that I heard during the New Rockstars break room. If I remember, Patty Jenkins, has projects canceled due to creative differences. Yeah, that sucks.
Right. In this particular case, though, it didn't work. It didn't necessarily work out that way. It didn't have to do with creative. Well, I guess maybe it did. In that there's a whole different direction that they want to take, and the stuff that went before doesn't really fit into that timeline.
So. And then Coy Jandreau who's on Real Rejects and New Rockstars, said that he had this idea, had this theory, kind of that the Flash would kind of reset the universe in his movie.
Flashpoint, yes. A lot of people are saying that's a really good time to kind of reset this whole DC.
Yeah, thing. which makes sense, and I'm really I enjoy DC, and I really hope that if that's what happens, that whatever they're doing will pull stuff together. Because I know so many DC fans that really want to see DC do well.
Right.
And I'd love to see them do well.
Right.
So, I don't know if they're continuing with Robert Pattinson as Batman. When it comes to Robert Pattinson as Batman, did you see that version?
The latest Batman movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I did.
Did you like it? Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was very good. And I think I even heard that we were going to have some kind of show with the Penguin, Colin Farrell. I haven't heard from that in a while. I don't know if that's still happening. I just thought of that right when we were talking about it. So.
That was another rumor, but of course that was before the whole James Gunn announcement of taking over DC. And we're still waiting for another season of Peacemaker as well, which I'm excited about.
Which I never saw the season.
Mark says, am I the only one that loves the Snyderverse? All right, put up a show of hands. Woohoo, our guest is in the house.
Yes.
Mark says, am I the only one that loves the Snyderverse?
I enjoyed the Snyder Cut. I enjoyed it just fine. I'm not specifically attached to one or the other. So... All right, so next, guys, we have our Flow of the Show before our interview. Our Flow of the Show brought to us by James Kaiser, our producer, who brings us the Flow of the Show every week. So without further ado, you can find out his information description below. Here's our Flow of the Show, Timotius Joseph.
Timotius.
That was
Woo!
fun. That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was our first time seeing Timotius on here, and it was very cool to have like the blades changing colors. Somebody made that comment too. Rich
Yeah,
Jenkins said, "Nice
Rich Jenkins
blades."
made that comment. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. So thank you, James Kaiser, for bringing us Timotheus Joseph. If you want more information about him, you can find that video specifically post in it's a Facebook post. You can find that in the description below. Now, next we have our Van. Sir, would you like to talk our guest, Van? Would you like to talk about our guest?
I will, but first, before we do that, I want to remind
Mm.
some new people that just jumped in because I know that I met a lot of brand new people this weekend.
Mhm.
Yesterday at Bright Spot, we were also doing an event at Bright Spot in Sassoon, and then today in Vacaville. So we are giving away this beautiful Chrome
Oh,
Betrayal
wait,
today.
pull it back a little bit. The lighting was like making it go. Woo!
Oh, there's you
Oh,
can't tell, but
that
there's
was-
actually a choir of angels above me right now, spitting down light with the shot light
Hi,
like that.
Alex.
What's up, Alex Perez? Alex is a producer on our show Hearts of Kyber on Wednesday nights. So our guest tonight, woohoo! This is a great way to end the year. It's ending on a very, very, I'd say a personal note. This gentleman that's coming on, I've known for God, probably at least 15 years, back in my spoken word poetry days. Um, and this gentleman at the time I knew as both a rapper and a comic book artist. In fact, he is one of the first hip hop comic book artists. He is out of Vallejo, California, and now he's spread his roots just a little bit. Not only is he doing comics, but he's also am I holding this up right? Writing short.
Yes, you can hold things. Good job.
Yay! I can hold things. He has this book here, Tales of Hip Hop Horror Thug Death. And I am very excited to learn more about this. The last time he was on the show, he talked about this, but it wasn't a reality yet. Now it is a book that you can buy. It has an ISB number right there, which means it's in the catalog. You can get it at the library and at Amazon or all your bookstore places. So with
Awesome.
no further ado, please give it up for my boy, H. Scott. Woohoo! What's up, H?
Hey, man.
Oh, oh,
Well,
oh. Can we go up a little?
up. There it is.
A little bit more.
Up. There it is.
I think we got it. What do you think, Mets? Should we go up higher, or do you think he's got it?
Is this good right here?
Beautiful. That's butter right there, baby.
Thank you. How you doing? What's up, girl? How you doing, G?
I am beautiful. How you doing, Mr. H?
I'm good, man. Thank you for asking.
How you
Yeah.
keeping yourself busy during these holidays? Uh-oh, did we have a freeze? I'm just seeing this weird expression on Age's face right now. Oh, there he is.
Okay, there it is. I just came from San Francisco for my radio show with me, my guy, Christ One. So sorry we're kind of late, but yeah, keeping myself busy. And my new book, Tales of Hip Hop Horror.
I am excited about this book. How long has the book been officially out now?
About a month.
About a month. And what are people's reactions? This is kind of different territory for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. First, I was inspired from seeing Jordan Peele go from comedy to horror and writing the most amazing horror movie of the moment with Get Out. Well, I'm like, well, if he can go from comedy to horror, I can go from comic books to horror myself. Like,
Right.
it is a different. It's a different lane for me, but I'm just trying to grow up as an artist.
Right. Now this on the cover it says it's actually written by you and another author.
Yes, Raina Young. So Raina Young is an established horror writer in the Bay Area. She has multiple books, and when I was doing the book, I basically came with the stories, and then I pitched them to Rena, and Rena alley-ooped them to her publisher. So Rena helped me make it into the physical, but the stories are technically mine. But she helped me like bring them to life. So,
Okay.
so the fact that um, she gave me the co-signing, my book is dope. It's a dope book, but it's really a testimony of my relationships with people because of me being so cool with Raina. That kind of like sped the process up by light years.
Right, right. Did Raina actually help with writing on this, or was it just kind of getting you in the doors to the right people
It
to the
was
right?
like it was. She helped me translate it because what I did with this book, I did it in like stick form, comic book form, and she translated it the script into words.
Wonderful.
It was a different process, but it still worked out.
What I was gonna say about it is because reading through it, I love the writing style that's in here. It's very different than what you may be used to in a lot of novels. I feel like when I'm reading this, I feel like it's almost like having a conversation. I mean, the language is language that I would use.
Mm. You know, mind you, because I tell you this, brother, because I love you like I do, bro. Like, before I made the book into exploration, I studied a lot of Tales from the Crypt. I studied every avenue of it. Not only Tales from the Crypt, but Tales from the Hood. Um, um, fucking midnight horror, like all Outer Limits, Twilight Zone. I kind of like did a binge watching of all those shows before I came, and this is during the quarantine time.
Right.
So I took it in, and this is what I turned out with. And it is a different style for me. Yeah, yes, Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Hood. Outer Limits. There's all these short stories, and what I did is, and mind you, Tales from the Hood, Tales from Hip Hop, Tales of Hip Hop Horror. Excuse me. I did it as a comic book like 10 years ago.
Right.
This is the first time I did it in novel form. So yeah, thank you. I'm really excited. The response has been really good.
And how have you been marketing this? Are you able to market this to your same audience? Because you've been doing comic books for what, 20 years now?
Yes, I have several comic books. One and Phil is my first and foremost longest running hip hop comic book, and I've been doing One and Phil for like forever. Then the funniest thing with my comic book properties is that even though I'm not doing the books like I used to be, a lot of the kids that bought them, they grew up and they still ask for like One and Phil. So
Right,
it's
right,
like super hood. So it's really cool to create properties that actually work, that
right,
people really like ask for.
right.
So yeah, I'm really lucky to be able to hit gold a couple of times. You know what I mean? It hasn't transferred over to like a shitload of money, but the buzz is there, so it's good.
Don't forget we're a family show on Sunday nights. Friday nights we can curse.
Right.
It happens to me all the time. So hey, Graveyard has a question here. Is this the start of more and more horror writing? What did you
Yeah,
feel about this? Did you like this whole different side of you getting to try some different shoes on?
yeah. Yes, this is the first time I did horror in a novel form, and it's a good response. And I do want to continue it. But what I'm finding out is that from watching, I'm a big fan of horror movies, from B movies to the classics to the corny ones to like Get Out. And what Get Out kind of showed me is that um, there's like racial motivated horror. Like there's some things that are scarier to people of urban than not,
Right.
and people that are like, just perfect example is when a police car gets behind you, does your heart just jump out of your chest, or do you just like, it's not a big deal. So,
Right.
so um, Get Out taught me that there's a lot of basically what Get Out and Jordan Peele taught me is that there's a lot more scary things out there than just Freddy, Chucky, and Jason.
Right. It's
People,
sometimes the things that we deal with every day are scarier than those imaginary monsters.
yes, and that's what and like Joker, the last Joker movie. I mean, that was a good movie. I don't think it's great, but I think it was good. But it wasn't about the Joker. It was more about mental health.
Right.
It was
Right.
really about the Joker. It was about mental health. Like so, um, yeah, it's a good time to write and be creative and do new.
Right. I definitely feel like Jordan Peele opened some new doors for movies, for cinema fans in general. We got a couple of questions here. I'm going to finish up my thought because this is one that I've been thinking about a lot. You know what I love about Jordan Peele? Okay, so a lot of times when you see a black director or a black movie, the movies are about being black and the black experience, right? What I love about Jordan Peele is that he has made a horror movie that just happens to have black people so that it doesn't matter if really the characters are black or Hispanic or white or whatever. In this case, he made them black, and it's almost like you don't even realize it because it's not a story about being black necessarily on the surface. Now, underneath, there's a lot of like social messages and things that
Yeah,
he wants to kind of put out there. But I think this Jordan Peele, more so than a lot of other directors I see, is able to just reach everybody.
you know, when you are an artist of color, you don't want to dwell on race, but you have an obligation to kind of throw race in it a tidbit
Right.
because, like, the
That's your experience in life.
yeah, the Netflix series. I don't want to get his last name, Alexander Dutera or something like that, like Chambers of Confusion or something like. It was like it's a Netflix series, a bunch of short stories on some sci-fi. I mean, it's really cool stuff. It's a good time to write from. Um, Nope was awesome. Okay, so Nope. Okay, so Brandon Myers says Nope was awesome. I agree.
Mark said that too.
Yeah, is definitely a good flick. It's not as dope as Get Out or Us, but in his whole catalog of movies, his body of work is really nice. Even look at Stephen King, the great Stephen King. Every movie wasn't like A+. There's some like good movies, some are great, but you
You
just
know
keep
what?
the thing.
And not to get all controversial, we're gonna fight right now. I would say personally, I think Nope was a great movie. It just wasn't what people were expecting, having seen his other two movies.
Thank you.
He just kind of shifted his way, and people were expecting one thing. I think it's a great movie. The
think it's
idea, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, tune out for just 1 second because I'm gonna say what I'm about to say. I love the idea of a flying saucer not being a flying saucer but being an animal itself. You know what I mean? I felt that was a fresh take on the whole flying saucer trope.
and I
But
thought it was really cool how it even looked like the 1950s, 60s flying saucers. Like it was cool. It was, and Gil,
Guillermo del Toro,
excuse me. I mean, no disrespect when I said it. I get caught up in names, but yeah, great director on what his show is on Netflix right now, and
right?
yeah, so yeah,
Cabinet of Curiosities, is that what Graveyard is saying?
yeah.
Graveyard is our horror expert here on the show.
You know,
um, you
go
have
ahead.
two questions here from the audience. Mark asks, "What's your favorite horror movie?" And the second question, Graveyard says, "Do you love all cheese in horror movies like I do? The more cheese, the better for me." What are your thoughts on those two?
Oh, please, thank you for the questions. So, being raised in the '80s, the thing about horror flicks is that once you get scared from the concept, you're not scared of it no more. So you like we're not scared of Jason like we used to be. And
Right.
Chucky's not even scary no more. Chucky's like a joke. He's more.
It's humorous now.
So it's not even scary no more. The last real scary movie to me was Miss Sumner. Miss Sumner and Get Out was like so. My last favorite scary movie is Get Out. Get Out.
Right.
I'm also I don't know if you put it in the category of scary, but I'm a huge Clockwork Orange fan. Clockwork,
Yes.
my favorite. That's my favorite movie ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
That's another classic. I mean, just horrifying to watch, but that's part of what makes it such a good movie. Graveyard said, I discuss movies on my podcast. I want Jordan Peele to do a slasher movie and see his take on that. What's up, Steven? Really quick. Do you think Jordan Peele could do a slasher movie?
he did Get Out. No, he did Candyman. He touched Candyman, kind of, sort of.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, the remake of Candyman was by this female. I forget her name, but Jordan Peele assisted with it, so he was like co-producing.
Right.
So, yeah, Candyman is a good remake. Yeah,
Right. I'll tell you who I love lately is the Koreans when it comes to scary movies, man. The Koreans make some horrifying movies, especially
Definitely.
zombie movies.
Yeah, especially different takes. And like, the thing with zombies is like super cool concepts, but after a while they just don't scare you no more.
Right.
So even like the exorcism movies, I see somebody mention the exorcism, like we've seen so many possession movies, it's kind of challenging to be like scared of that concept. But there's still a lot of what I'm saying is this. For everything we're over, there are still scary concepts out there.
Right. But my son can't see a chimp now.
And it's freaky when the chimp came in. Yeah.
So I want to ask you how did you find do you find horror and comedy to be very similar or very different when you're writing them as far as the creative take? Train to Busan, I love that movie. That's what I was talking about when I was talking about scary Korean movies.
Was that
Train to Busan?
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. It seems like overseas they just look at our media and entertainment just differently. They just go about it differently.
Right. Right. So, but what about you when you were writing comedy and now you're writing horror? Like you said, your original version or take of this was kind of like the comic book, what you're used to doing, right? And Raina kind of helped you translate it into a novel format, right?
Yes. Okay, so the beauty of Tales of Hip Hop Horror is that me being from hip hop like I am, I know that there's a lot of ills that are going on in everyday in the hood that aren't spoken of. Like the scenario of a police car being behind you. That scares the bejesus out of some people.
Right.
In my short story, my book, Tales of Hip Hop Horror, is one story of a female who gets beat up by her boyfriend, so she calls her ex-boyfriend to come take care of it, and then it goes all astray.
Right.
Everyday scenario. That's an everyday. Right. That's a real scenario. There's a story of.
But even on your very first story touches on kind of supernatural things, right?
It talks about a microphone that won't allow you to lie out loud.
Right.
Like he says one thing and the mic says another. That's like, think about it on some psychological thing, like when the microphones won't allow rappers to lie anymore, that just destroys the whole thing.
Wow.
So and then there's a story of Tales of Hip Hop Horror about some kids that they get high during the day and at night they go out and act Grand Theft Auto in real life.
Right. Clockwork Orange in real life.
Yeah, no, but brother, this story is absolutely 100% true from Oakland. There was a bunch of kids at one time that would like get extremely intoxicated during the day and at night. They would actually give each other points for acting out grand. Like they would go robbing people for their cars,
Oh wow.
like do malicious acts. And this is a true story. True story. So, and okay, and you know what? Keep it real. Some of the stuff I was writing about is very dark, and I like it kind of cringe when I wrote it. But I'm like, well, this is what the people want. Like,
Right.
even when I'm writing it, I'm like, this is really dark for me. But now that I watch, how many times have they did Dharma in a Netflix series?
Right.
The way that people are fascinated with the dark, twisted stuff. I'm like, I could give them dark and twisted if that's what they want.
Right.
This is
And
what
you and did you so these are short stories in here. Is that because you come from a comic book background where they tend to be shorter stories? Do you think you could write a 300-page novel?
You know what? I'm gonna keep it 100, bro, because you're my guy. Tales of Hip Hop Horror. Now that I've done it and I've seen which way to go, like, man, that's a lie.
Right. Yeah,
My,
because I feel like some of these stories could be fleshed out more and get more
yeah,
background and more depth.
I'm already like my plan in my during my Christmas break is to finish book 2. I got like 2 stories or 2 already done, and I'm starting to find out that when like it's when you're an artist, you owe an obligation to say something when you're here in these spots. So
Right.
um I get it. Like Jordan, no one wants Jordan Peele to dwell on race, but he's a black man in America, so you guys just talk about like the police being behind him. In the movie Get Out, when the police was behind that, when the police car pulled up at the end of the movie, everyone's
Right.
like, "Oh!" And when
Right.
the movie
And
came
then it
out,
was his friend.
yeah, you know what? In that moment, everyone in the theater was black.
Wow.
When
Wow.
you think about it, when that moment,
Wow.
everyone in the movie theater was black. At that
Right.
moment, everyone, when you see the police car come, everyone's heart jumped because they knew he was great. But lo and behold, it was his friend. Oh, we all got to sigh. But
Right.
everyone in the theater was black at that one moment.
Wow, that's a really good way to look at it. I love that. Hey, okay, so we got a question here from Graveyard. Really quickly before I get the question, I think it's funny because Graveyard and I were talking about you, and he was like, "Yeah, we don't do interviews on our show. I don't know how to do interviews. I don't know how to go about it." And yet he's asking all these fantastic questions to you right now. So his next question is, would you like to see these turned into short movies or make your own anthology movie?
Yes. Like I said, some of these stories, the story of the kids from East Oakland who went on a terrorizing spree, I felt like I had to put it in book form first because
Right.
it's such an incredible story. Someone has to do it, so
Right.
let me do it.
Right.
So yes, I do envision my stories, and honestly, that's that's the way I wrote it. Is in like short chapters, so it could be like a Twilight Zone type thing, you know.
Right.
Yes, that's the envision. I do. I would like to see that happen.
All right, and that's probably not too far away too, especially how like I mean the backgrounds are here, right here in Oakland, right in the Bay Area. I wanted to ask you in that story in particular, did you like hear the original story about the kids and then just kind of flesh it out in your head, or did you go and research that story and try to find?
A little bit of both. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did, I found out about the story. Then I did the research and did some googling and some backstory. And the only thing I didn't do that I want to do and I will do is I want to go down into the bottom lower in the East Oakland lower bottoms and actually try to talk to people who are there. Like there has to be some people that were related to the people who did such and such. So ultimately, that's my vision of going into the bottom of Lower East Oakland and talking to people who were there because
Right.
it's a true story. Like it's 100% true. Now, my version that I did in the book, I put a little spin on it because people want that extra, but it's technically a true story to 100%. And then the story of and here's one: the story of the guy who breaks up his ex girlfriend from getting beat up from her current boyfriend is my last encounter with my ex girlfriend. It's a true
Oh
story.
wow.
It's based off of my relationship with my ex, and
Wow.
I feel that it was a serious, nasty heartbreak, and it got kind of nasty. And I feel like writing about it and putting it in book form is more powerful than sitting here and taking it to the grave and just being upset.
Right, right, right. So these are stories that maybe started in real life in one way or another, and then kind of evolved into stories. Because I think, okay, so this is what I find funny. I was thinking about your first story with the microphone where he can't, the haunted mic. That's what it's called. Um, but I know you as a rapper, right? So that's how I know you. I mean, I know you on a personal level as a rapper and a comic book artist. Is it almost a little bit of kind of like poking fun at some of the people you know, or maybe even yourself? Like, what if rappers couldn't lie? You know what I mean? What could they possibly say if you
Brother,
can't talk about all the money you ain't got?
yeah, you're talking all this, you're talking about all this, but you're not really talking the truth. Uh,
Right.
from me being in the hip hop community like I am, I know also as a fan of horror and sci-fi, we see the flaws, we see what's missing. So we could talk about it in book form.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Right.
I love the art of hip hop. And matter of fact, next year is the 50th anniversary. So hip hop and horror, it's there, hand in hand.
Wow. The only other example I could think about whenever somebody like says hip hop and horror, the only example, I don't know if this is even a good example, was Snoop. Didn't Snoop put out a horror movie?
Tales from some like it was like a Tales from the Hood type thing, and then Tales from the Hood even did a part two, but it wasn't as successful as one.
Uh
Did you know Creep Show had they did a remake of Creep Show,
oh wow.
but it didn't catch on because there was no Crypt Keeper in it.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
What's up, Joe?
hey Joe. Basically, what I'm saying is there's always going to be a hunger for new scary stuff, but um, that's if you notice, there hasn't been a Jason, Freddy, or Krueger in a while, but there's been more. What's that movie? The Purge. When there was a,
Right,
when 45 was in the office and it was all political time.
right,
Seeing how many the purges happened, you know.
right, right, right. It was kind of a commentary on our times as they are.
Yeah. And that's
Do
why that's why I think Tales from the Hood it's like a commentary, like speaks about the scary stuff that's not spoke of.
right, right. Do you think, in general, like in the black community, is horror popular? Because you don't have a lot of examples, so that would dictate to me that maybe it's not, one of the more popular genres. Or do you think it's growing, or it's getting a new
Okay,
fan base?
you know what? Even the term blurred, black nerd, that came into existence in the last 10 years. Like the term blurred, but we've always had black people who like sci-fi and comic books and stuff, but we've just been disconnected. Like like it hasn't been cool to be like a comic book nerd till now.
Right.
And the same thing with sci-fi. Like we've been so fixated in hip hop and rap, like that's our only outlet of expression. And I think hip hop and rap is cool, but me personally, I like to make beats and rap and do the whole thing. But I hate the game. Like I do not want to pursue being a rapper.
Right.
It's funny because I do my rapping through my books, through my horror.
Right. Right.
Like I'm the greatest rapper in my books.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Mike Berger says there's tons of black cosplayers nowadays, and that I think is much more of a recent thing. When I say recent, I mean the last 10 years, just like you were saying, or so.
Blur, yeah, the whole term blur, black nerds. I mean,
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Another question here, or another comment. New Friday the 13th next year. Blumhouse doing Freddy movie as well. So next year, I guess they're coming back.
I mean, these properties, I don't think they're even doing them to make them scary anymore. They just do them just because of fanfare and they can sell merch. It's not really popping. But I mean, there's some really good scary movies. I mean, like I enjoyed Midsummer. Like I'm really a horror fan too. Like we all are. Like I really enjoy horror movies. They just haven't made anything really scary in a long time. And remember this. I think it's really dope. But for Jordan Peele to make Get Out and be dubbed the king of horror at that time was really, I think that was cool for Jordan Peele, but it's really lightweight disrespectful to the game of all these other artists, but like and horror writers. But then, like Jordan Peele made the freshest, scariest thing forever.
Right. Well, I think we're kind of in this different time now. I think with the success of the Jordan Peele movies, and with the success of Ryan Coolidge with Black Panther movies. What I think is really funny is it's only been, say, the last 10 years or so, Asian movies. Crazy Rich Asians was another example of one of the few times you saw an Asian cast. And it seems weird that, like, Hollywood is just now, black people would love movies about black people. Asians would love it. Why haven't we done this before? Do you feel like we're in a different creative time where you as an artist are allowed to do more because some of these other, like I said, Ryan Coolidge and Jordan Peele, they haven't really opened the doors, but they've just kind of enlightened people to what was already there, right?
Yeah, and you know what?
Ryan Coogler, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right, brother. And you know what? This is one of those things that, like, based off of reality, that's a scary movie in itself. Want to hear a scary movie? Here's a scary premise. The game shifted where the colors were on top and the whites were on the bottom, and everything, the whole industry just shifted. Black movie on top, whites were like, and slavery was like reversed, and the whites were now the slaves, and the blacks were on top.
Right. And that was Did you ever see that movie? I think it was called White Man's Burden.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Right, that was the one I think where like the roles were replaced or the roles were switched in that one, right? The black people were more like the people in power.
And brother, I don't care what the encyclopedia or what anyone tells me. Planet of the Apes, I believe, is racially motivated because there was a time when blacks were considered as monkeys, yada yada, and I believe that Rod Serling wrote that as a way of one day these apes will uprise when they get united and get knowledge of self.
Wow.
And I that's how I look at it. I look at it, and people say, "Oh, you're reading into it too much." I'm like, whatever. What? Like I said, look, here's one. There's a million there's a million scary things that aren't Jason. You know what's scary to me? Ku Klux Klan. When I was a kid, the Klan
Right.
scared me out of bejesus. Yo, hold up. The scariest thing I ever seen on film was The Roots.
Right. Right.
Me as a kid, Roots is scarier by far. Even I, as a kid, I went to the theater and I seen Reanimator on the screen, Jason. I seen all those movies. I used to pay top dollar. Me and my brother, and all that shit was be like it's jokes. But when I see Roots, and I
Right.
see like brothers getting slaved and like all those action, that hit way harder. So,
Right.
like I said, Jordan Peele, once again, Jordan Peele kind of reminded people that there's a lot more shit scarier than Freddy, Jason, and Chucky. Like
Right.
Get Out was scary to me.
Right.
How many times did you see Get Out? I've seen it like 14 times.
Yeah. I haven't seen it 14. I've seen it like four.
No, Get Out and Black Panther came out in like the same year.
Right.
And it's a powerful year to be black because it was the first time a black person survived to the end of a horror flick. Second, it was the first time we had a black superhero being the dominant hero.
Right.
It was a powerful time in cinema for like blurs.
And also too, it's one of the first time that you see Africa not as a nation that's been torn apart, but as a technologically
Yeah.
advanced nation compared to the other nations.
And so like I okay, so writing dark things on paper, I want to shock people, I want to offend people, but I don't want to lose people either. Like I love like I me okay. Here's one. Did you know Pozole, when Pozole was originated, the Aztecs would beat their enemies, then cook them into stew and eat them? That's how Pozole was created.
Wow, I did not know that.
I know this because of the science. I did some research. That's like a premise I want to incorporate in my story, like some older gentlemen eat the enemies and shit like in a stew. And
Right,
but the reason why I feel like I could talk about that is because of my Hispanic brothers and sisters who gave me some knowledge on Pozole.
right,
So what I'm saying is I want to write from a different angle. I want to, like you said, there's not many people of color who write like horror, so we got to change that. Like
right.
those stories. Like we need to change the concept of what we can do.
And even thinking about that, like you got me thinking about like I mean I can't think of a black director that's done a sci-fi movie. Have you? Can you?
No, no, and brother, like, I mean, I'll tell the truth because you're my guy, but like, I'm writing, I'm writing this horror story, but I also don't want to be considered a horror writer. Like, I've already penned a love story. I've written a love story on the side. Like, as I was writing the super dark stuff, I've also wrote in the light stuff too. So, I'm saying true on the full point. Yeah. Thank you, Claus. Yeah, man. I'm just trying to write and create
Right.
and create
So
in my culture.
is this with writing this book and then saying that you want to write and do different types of story? You don't want to be pigeonholed as just the horror writer. Is this you getting away from comics, or are you still doing that as well? Are you kind of like widening thing, or are you taking a new direction?
You know what? I tell you, because you're my guy. So the thing with comic books is because the book thing is weird because people in these cons and like it's the distancing and I don't know if I want to like it's fun doing the cons, like loading up books and like hiking the cons and doing the struggle, sitting at a table and shaking hands. That shit is fun for a minute, but also
Right.
that shit like I'm sorry, I already did
Okay.
that. I've already did that before, so I'm kind of over it. But right now, I'm doing a Wonderfield cartoon, a straight up animation. I've been drawing up cell after cell after cell after cell, and
Wow.
I'm putting it out on Christmas Day. I'm dropping it Christmas Day. It's on you
Wow.
can see it on my YouTube page, the Age page.
The
Um,
age page on YouTube.
yeah, so the aspect of drawing books, I'm still drawing. It's just I haven't really drawn a comic book. But then on the same note, I also got Superhood where that property people still ask for it, and I may just have to. I'm actually looking for an artist to draw Superhood. I would like to have. I would like to actually pay artists to who preferably in the Bay Area, but if you could draw a superhero anatomy and you want to work, I'll pay. I'm paying. I would love to work with, and honestly, I want to work with as many different artists as possible, like Rennie Young. That's like a lot of people will say I'm not the person you should work with, but a lot of people do feel comfortable working with me, and when
Right.
I get things done. So once again, shout out to Rennie Young for working with me on this project.
All right. Oops. Claus says, or Steven says, I think Age is flourishing beyond what he's creating, so it seems like you are evolving.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that way? Do you feel like you're evolving? Or are you trying different things?
Yes. Yes. I mean, the coolest thing is to whatever. I mean, I'm lucky that at least the things I've been making that people actually like people actually like Juan and Phil. They're like,
Right.
"Where's the Juan and Phil book?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad you like it." They're like, "Where's the new Superhood? You doing Superhood stuff?" I'm like, "Oh wow, that's cool. I'm glad you like it." Um, asking people, "Are you going to do a book two, the Tales of Hood, Hip Hop Horror?" I'm like, "Oh wow, I'm glad you like it. Like I'm glad people like it enough for them to be interested." So you know what, brother? Like, I am a visionary. I'm trying to be honestly. I'm trying to leave a discography of work behind.
Right.
I like people don't talk about. Even though I'm talking about all my books and my comic books, I'm still making beats for people. I'm still recording people. Like I recorded a lot. I just came from my radio show where we played nothing but stuff we recorded.
Right.
So honestly, dude, like I'm not an artist. I consider myself more of a tinkerer.
Right. Right.
Like I like to get grab an assignment and like get into it, finish it, then get on to something else.
Right. There's a comment here. Rich says, as you make art, you have to grow that art, right?
Yes. Yes. Um before it I feel like every art project I get into it, and before I even get into it, like actually start doing it, I'm like psyching myself up, like this is the next project, let's get it done. Get it done, then okay, this is the next project, let's get it done. So I am, and then man, I gotta say one more thing. We're from a different era, man. Like you and me, we're from an era where there was like the internet wasn't such a distraction. Like it's hard for people today to complete anything
Right.
because the internet is such a distraction. But we're from an era where I could cut my internet off, and people today they're like when they see Tez of Hip Hop Horror, they're like, "Oh, what's the advice you can give somebody who wants to finish a book?" I'm like, "Take your phone off."
Right. Right.
Like we all can write. Everyone knows how to write because you're posting all day. So it's not really to just get focused. Get focused
Right.
on the art.
Hey, Age, we're getting ready to come up here near the end of this interview.
Thank
What
you.
do you see? Well, I have two questions for you. What's Age's goal in the next year or two? Do you have new projects that you're starting? And my second one is, you've done comic books, you've written novels, you've done music. You've done music videos. Is there anything that you want to try that you haven't had a chance to do yet?
Um, Honestly, bro, I even had a kids show, with Vallejo Cable, like
Yeah.
Bob Ross. Hey, kids, um, I want to, dude. Like, ultimately, I would like to change the way black men are looked at.
Right.
Yeah, straight up. Like, um, and I want to maybe change the way we black men look at each other.
Mm.
Like, I'm not. I mean, I don't. I mean, dude. Like, I'm so. I'm blessed. I want to say I'm really humble, but you can't be humble without chasing while you're chasing the dream. Like, I'm really a hardcore visionary. Like, I'm really trying to be like. I would like to be considered like Picasso one day. And that's
Right.
big, like big feet, but we're still young. No telling. I mean, no telling what what we're gonna make next.
Right.
I mean, we may make the next Star Wars.
Right. Right.
We make
Fingers
the next.
crossed.
I'm saying the make like recreate the next comic book that's the next super comic book property, and yeah, make the
Right.
next.
Right. Right.
You
Hey,
know.
by the way, Mez, the Kyber Cave production crew was talking about horror movies and writing horror movies. Maybe we can take one of your stories and collab with you, and Graveyard work with you on that too.
Dude, the hell! I mean, of course. I mean, I want to work with people, man. Van, come on, man. You're my guy.
So Mezzo's gonna have your information down below. If anybody wants to reach Age, his information is gonna be down there, and you can see some of his other works, some of his past works, also ways to get a hold of you. There was one more question, and then I'm gonna let you go. Rich says, "Have you ever considered writing RPGs? How about games?"
You know what? Okay, I'll say this. I would love to, because me personally, okay, I'll put it out there here. I want to work with artists who want to create. If you know how to make the RPG game and the technical, I help you. I'll help. We can write it together. Like, like I'm not a grandeur type person. I understand the power is with people. The more I work with different people and build my name up, that's that's the beautiful thing. So if you know how to do RPGs, or if you want to make a card game, I'll come up. We could write it together and just pitch it and get it done. Please,
Right,
I would love an
right.
RPG game. That would be super
Woohoo!
wonderful.
You're a man of many talents. You're somebody that I have admired for many years. A lot of people don't know this, but when I was a teacher in Vallejo, I was responsible for setting up after school programs for 4 different schools, and I had Age come out as a guest speaker and talk to all the kids, and tell them about the importance of learning how to read and write so you can become a comic book artist.
Yeah, man. And it's so cool to see where you're at too, dude. Every time I see a nephew at school, I'll be like looking out for him with the little ball. Yeah, yo, I gotta go.
Mwah, that's love, bro.
You got a cool nephew. And your guy, Mr. Banks, at Funky Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chauncey.
yeah, Chauncey's super cool.
Well, hey, Age, I appreciate you being on with us tonight. You are our last interview for the year. I felt this was a really good way to end up the year. Braden was saying, Age, you're a dope man. Keep on doing your thing. I'd love to get a hold of your work. You can get a hold of this right now. This is available on, Amazon, or I know you can go online and get this.
Yes, you can go to Amazon, Tales of Hip Hop Horror. Please check it out. Tales of Hip Hop Horror. Each book gets me closer to quitting my job. Please.
and doing this full time.
Yes, and then one more thing, seriously. If you are a gamer and you want to make a game or RPG, or please get that van. Let's make it happen. Please.
It looks like Rich said we kickstarted a tiny one this year. I'll send a link.
Please
So
do. Yeah.
Rich here in the comments. So We might have you and Rich getting together and making some games, bro.
I'm super down, man. Super down. Thank you for like even just being down, bro.
Hey, man, you know I love you always. I appreciate everything you do for me, not only me, but the Bay Area in general. You are an asset to us all, and I'm happy to have you on anytime. Anytime you got something new coming on, give me a holler and we'll get you back on the show.
Of course, brother and brother, we can't just be meeting here. Can we like hang out sometime, do lunch or something sometime?
I don't, dude, I have no life. Of course, I need to have lunch with you, dude. I got no life.
Hang out, bro. We can't just. This can't be the only way we hang out. But thank you, seriously, bro.
Hey, thank you, Age Scott. All right, make sure to check out his work. Have a beautiful evening, sir. Mezzo, roll that film.
I've returned.
Hello, we have missed you. That was Age. I love having Age on anytime we can get him.
Yes, I really enjoyed listening to him. I was just like, and I kept forgetting to like switch views. You kept doing it because I was just like,
all right.
And I'm down here looking at TV, and I'm like, sorry, because I was just real interested in what he was saying.
He is very informational, and just like you said, turn off those phones. Hey, really quickly, for all the people that are hanging in there, I want to remind you, we still have this to give away. In another 10 minutes or so, we will set the little computer thing rolling. Everybody who has left a comment will get a, oh, thank you, Mark, thank you. Everybody who has left a comment will get one entry. Guess what? Want a second or third entry? Leave a comment from a different YouTube page. So if you got a kid in the house that has a YouTube page, go grab their phone. If you get a husband, a wife, go grab their phone. Go grab your neighbor's phone. Grab some person off the street. But you should probably tell them what you're doing first.
You, come here.
We will be giving this away in roughly 10 minutes. I also want to let people know and remind people that we do have a Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help not only grow this channel. We have tons. We are literally, I think we have uploads 6 days a week now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's my response.
I'm sure you of all people know it.
Yes, I do. You know what's funny is hello, Duck Lord's Night. How are you?
Yay!
So I just wanted to show this because he mentioned drawing superheroes. Now I'm not great at it, but I wanted to show you a couple things I've drawn for fun. Is one thing I used to do is turn kids into superheroes.
Right.
So here's that one.
Oh wow!
Of a kid like floating, with like a glow around him, and I put him in all white because I just thought that looked, I don't know, pure or whatever. And then. But a couple years ago, I decided to try to draw some of the new rock stars, and that's how that turned out.
Nice. Oh,
and oh gosh, yeah, it was very, very silly to make those.
Really quickly, I love Chloe's comment down here. My husband told me to join. Hello.
Hello, Chloe. Welcome in.
Hopefully, you have a chance at winning that saber. Age was rad. Thank you so much, John. And Devin said great show tonight. And we still have more good show to go. We've only got a little bit left, but we still got incredible stuff. What is our next thing, Miss Mezzo?
Oh, so our next thing, as we always have, is our dear producer Kevin Hogan goes to conventions in the area, and he always brings us a spectacular report, which I have botched myself before. So without further ado, Kevin Hogan, here is his report.
Hello, this is Kevin Hogan from Northern California, another episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. In the weekend of December 2nd through the 4th, 2022, was Los Angeles Comic-Con at the Los Angeles Convention Center there. After years of COVID, it's great to see Southern California is open for business and all these cool Comic-Con adventures there. We saw thousands of happy fans flooding into the convention center there, and lots of our friends there from Central and Southern California there definitely showed off some great cosplay there. We saw lots of our cool costumes there from Night at the Museum walking around like Teddy Roosevelt, and even giant cosplays from the Transformer robots like Megatron and Bumblebee walking around there. It was really impressive seeing all these different cosplays showing up there at the Los Angeles Comic-Con there. Also up in Northern California was the Dreamscape Toy Drive on December the 11th at the Newark Hotel there, out of Silicon Valley. That's kind of a car show meets Comic-Con combination event that Dreamscape hosts there, along with the Maid Cafe there. I myself there was walking around as Marty McFly from Back to the Future there, so it was really cool. They were collecting toys for charity there. They had a vendor hall going on there with the Christmas trees, and also the Maid Cafe was like entertaining their guests and stuff there, and they were selling cappuccinos outside there with all the cool sports cars with all the decals from various animes on them there. For example, they had cars with different Agrisuko anime designs all over them there, and other cars with different anime characters, so it was really impressive seeing all the cool decorated cars on the outside there. Also on December the 11th, our friends over at Ohana Comic-Con visited Central California in Merced there. We got to see the voice actor Mary Gibbs there, who was Boo in Monsters Inc. there, and also our meet Rufus from House of a Thousand Corpus there. We got to see lots of our local friends there in their cosplay contest there. Ohana Comic-Con, as you know, visits a different city every weekend up and down the state of California there. If you ever get a chance to visit a city near you, definitely recommend checking them out there. Also, the middle of November through mid-December, the 38th annual Great Dickens Christmas Fair has been going on in Daly City. They turned the Cowpalace Arena in Daly City into a Victorian-era streets of London there. Lots of makeshift shops and stores there. I myself was sitting in the makeshift time machine there. They even had an indoor skating arena there, so you can practice ice skating. They were selling Christmas trees, lots of indoor shops from the time era, like selling brooms and candles, things like that. They had a bunch of Navy sailors singing sea shanties, jugglers and knife sword swallowers, things of that nature. So it was really cool to see that every year going on there. And for those of you looking forward to upcoming events there, on Thursday, December the 22nd at 6:30 in Old Sacramento area is Captain Jack's cosplay gathering going on there at the Theater of Light show, so that'll be fun to check out there. And in the Alhambra area on December the 24th is going to be the Toyzilla Swap Meet there, so that'll be cool to check out the comic books, art, and toys going on there. And for anyone interested in going to see the fireworks near San Francisco Embarcadero, the furries for the Meetup.com group are going to be headed out there on Saturday, December the 31st from 9:30 to 1 a.m. there. Just watch the fireworks there at the San Francisco Embarcadero there on New Year's Eve. And also on the weekend of January the 6th to the 8th of 2023 is SAC Anime. That's going to be a huge Comic-Con in Sacramento there. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the picks, and we'll see you out there at the next Comic-Con.
Mr. Hogan, thank you so much for your report.
Woohoo!
Always so much fun to listen to him. You have a nice, calming voice, Kevin. He's watching, so I know
and
he
if you
heard
are,
that.
if you are out at comms all over Northern California, you are likely to run into him. Joe says, "I would go broke."
I fought hard when I went to the Funko Pop store today.
Ooh.
And I was like, they're telling everybody, I'm not going to collect these. And I'm like, well, that's cute. And that's cute. And I didn't buy any.
My first Funko Pop was a gift. I now have like over 250. Do not start. It's like heroin.
My first one was a gift too. Uh-oh.
Yeah, see, that's how it starts. It always starts as a gift.
So guess what it's time for?
Speaking of gifts,
woohoo!
the reason so many people are here. First off, I want to thank everybody who has come in. Of course, all of our friends that we see every week. We always appreciate you coming back and spending a Sunday night with us. All of our new friends that I've just met this weekend. Thank you so much, Jessica. Woohoo! Thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget, just because we're off the next 2 weeks does not mean the show is over. We just would, like to have holidays too.
Yes, exactly. We're just taking off the next 2 Sundays. There will still be our shows in between where we have My Gaming live on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific. We have Hearts of Kyber at 5 p.m. Pacific. On Thursday evenings, we have gaming with Forces Friends on Thursday nights. And then Friday, we also have After Dark at 8 p.m. Pacific. Now, that one's recommended for ages 18 plus only.
Right.
Because there is adult content, adult language is completely allowed, and some of the topics are a bit sometimes can be raunchy. And unfortunately, my beautiful, wonderful 9-year-old son heard one of them one day. Yay!
I take no blame for any of that.
Yeah, no, that was completely my fault. I was trying to help with some backstage producing stuff, and I left it open on my computer, and then he came to come play on my computer for a bit. And I walk into the room, I suddenly remembered, oh no, that's on, and he's on my computer. And I run to the back and I open it dramatically, and he's sitting right here. And he looks back at me and he goes, they're saying bad words. Thomas, and I can blame. Okay, Thomas, I'll tell my son that someone he doesn't know is to blame.
Right. Poor Steven never has a day off.
Yes.
Hey, really quickly, let's remind people really quickly of the rules for this. We do have a couple of rules. Do you want to remind him? Should I remind him?
So our rules is that you cannot have won a Saber in the previous 3 months. You cannot be staff for Kyber Cave.
Actually, technically, I only have one staff.
Yeah, that's me. So
no, it's not you. It's Steven.
It's Steven, technically.
Steven's the only one that technically can't win thing because he gets paychecks and stuff.
I already have my Saber, so I'm happy.
Well, you could win one.
If you cannot, if I win one, I will pass it on. If you cannot come by the store to pick it up, you do need to pay for shipping. Right. All right. So let me pull this up here.
I gotta plug in real quick. Hold on. Go ahead and do your thing.
Plug it in. Sorry. I'm going to be singing things for you all over. Oh my goodness. Guys, we have 28
wait till we get to 1,000 subscribers. You're going to be singing all over the place.
When do you pay me and how am I staff? Klaus. Oh my goodness. All right. So who is ready for our drawing?
Woohoo! I am ready.
10, 9. Is that too high? 8.
Is what you, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hit that button.
Right.
Wow, we have a lot of names up there. How is Kyber Cave Productions is in there? We win our own Saber. Braden! Wow!
Yay. All right, guys. So Braden
is a brand new person.
Yes, please message us. You can email kybercaveproductions@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook as well. Go ahead and message us. You have, after like a week, if we cannot get in touch with you and you haven't gotten in touch with us, it's probably going to move on. But so we previously had a time where someone won and we never saw them again. And I tried messaging what I thought might have been their social media and such and never could find them. So congrats, Braden.
Oh, I see Braden there. Braden said, yay.
Yeah, message us at kybercaveproductions@gmail.com or you can find us on Facebook, Kyber Cave Productions. He owes 3 books now, Chloe. Oh yeah, because he asked Chloe to pop in. That's his wife.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Chloe was the one that had the extra. She was like, "My husband told me to pop on." Yeah, so I guess that's Braden and Chloe.
Yeah, and so congratulations, Braden, on winning.
Hey,
your
Isaac,
Saber.
what is
Woohoo!
up?
So guys, if you want to share our channel, we're Kyber Cave Productions on YouTube. When we get to 900 subscribers, we will do another Saber giveaway. And when we started the show, we were at 863. I'm not even sure if that's gone up since we started this show. I'm going to check right now. I'm going to look.
We're
at 865.
Wow. So at 900, we will be giving away another Saber. So if you let your friends know about this, have them subscribe. As soon as we get to 900, we'll be giving away another Saber. We'll give one away at 950 and then 1,000. When we hit 1,000, it will no longer be every 50 subscribers. It goes up from there to every 100 subscribers, because these things aren't cheap.
That's me doing 100.
Right. So when we hit 1,000, we'll be giving away Sabers at every 100 subscribers. And guys, we're less than 150 away from that goal. Our other goal is we need 4,000 hours watch time. So if you wouldn't mind watching some of our past shows. Oh, I wanted to say, Mary Gibbs was mentioned on the California Report. Mary Gibbs is our top Saber Rattle interview. So Mary Gibbs was Boo from Monsters, Inc. If you would like to see that interview, I want to say she was somewhere around the hundreds. I can't quite remember.
I'd have to look. I can actually look while you're talking.
But we've had Mary Gibbs from Monsters, Inc. We've had two actors from Squid Game, several actors from Star Wars, Warner Brothers, Comedy Central. We've had some decent people on here.
Yeah, some really Tim Burns, writer for Comedy Central.
Ferry from the game channel. What was the game company?
Oh, Ferry Tomei from
Ferry Tomei.
EQ Studios.
EQ Studios.
They will actually be coming back on. We're communicating on what time to come back in January. But basically, they had a game called Payne's Creek Killings that Aubrey and I will be playing on the channel the Wednesday after this. Hi, Frey girl! Yay, love you. So we'll be playing that after this coming Wednesday. So in a week and a half, and that's the Payne's Creek Killings, which is the first game that they came out with. And now they have a new game called Scene Investigators, which they have a Kickstarter for. And we shared that information for that Kickstarter on our Facebook. And we're actually going to bring Ferry Tomei back for another interview to talk about the new game.
Woohoo! So that will be very soon. Don't forget, I don't have a calendar up in front of me, but we will be coming back the first. Do you have a calendar in front of you?
I have a phone that has a calendar on it.
Yeah,
sir.
I got a new phone, so I haven't figured this.
Are you trying to figure out the date?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when our next date
is our next show. The 8th.
Oh yeah.
Since New Year's Day,
it's called
January
basic
1st.
math.
Yeah, you +7.
Sorry, my bad. I was a journalism student.
You are so silly. Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right, y'all. We want to thank everybody for coming in. Frey Girl for coming in last minute. Thomas, we love you. Scott said my first Funko Pop was also a gift. That is the mark of you're going down. If somebody gives you a Funko Pop, it's almost like the cube from Pinhead.
Mary Gibbs, let's see, for episode 91.
Episode 91, Mary Gibbs. So if you want to see, and in fact, we didn't know she was an incredible fire flow artist as well. Yeah, so her fire flow is on that episode. Graveyard said Mega Man ×3 Parts 1 scheduled for tomorrow. Retro Alcove. If you guys have not been on the Retro Alcove, where have you been? Yes, and Frey Girl said, don't forget our Patreon, please. We have special exclusive gifts that you can get nowhere else there, so make sure to check that out. All right,
so Frey Girl just became one of our patrons, so thank you, my dear.
Oh, yes, thank you, Frey Girl. We love you. We love you.
All right, guys, so don't forget to check us out on Facebook. We have an Instagram, and we have YouTube. Check us out on all of those. Guys, I'm so excited. Thank you. Oh, Braden Meyer. Yeah, so excited. Love the energy. I'll definitely be back. I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm sure you'll be here for your Saber. And I think Braden is someone I met, I believe, in Vacaville today, so I'm sure he can get to the shop.
Okay, cool. All right, so we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow night is our Retro Alcove upload, and then we'll see you Wednesday morning for gaming. Have a great evening. Bye, guys.
Now's the talk of the town.
Talk of the town. Closing it out. Woo!